Where do we go?
This is happening right now in Berkeley, California. The new person in charge of intervening and addressing the homeless situation here in Berkeley is actually a former administrator of Oakland. He just left his job in Oakland where he was supposed to be in charge of housing homeless people during his era. There was like none of that happened. And he came back here to Berkeley where he started, and now he's a high-ranking administrator under the city manager's office. His name is Peter Radu, and this is his intervention for homelessness. This community has been under attack and duress.
We're just looking for a place to stay, a place to keep warm, a place to keep our own things, but nobody can tell us where can we go.
Since last Wednesday when the city tried to begin this eviction.
Hey, brother, I bet you don't go home and you don't have no problem washing your hands.
There's too many details, but all I need to say is that the city not only has completely failed this community.
36,000 months. Probably make that today in the year.
Over the past week, I have witnessed the city make promises and break the promises, lie to people here, harass and threaten people, cause people to have nervous breakdowns, cause people to be, over the last week, living in total panic and anxiety and paranoia. I have witnessed over this past week this community be constantly blatantly both human rights and constitutional rights being violated. But I think it's really interesting that the city of Berkeley and the city of Oakland are like swapping high-ranking administrators between their bureaucracies, and it looks like the city of Berkeley is sending folks to the city of Oakland to get trained on how to deal with unhoused folks in a most uncompassionate way possible, and how to use vocabulary to basically do doublespeak, to say this is their idea of compassion, okay? This is their idea of dignity. And it's exactly identical to Oakland's. So we're actually asking folks also to come out here tomorrow. Tomorrow, the city of Berkeley is threatening to tow all these vehicles. They offered these vehicles a quote-unquote safe park to relocate in Berkeley, and then turn these folks away. Some of these folks actually drove over there or towed their cars over to the safe park, and the city of Berkeley towed their cars off, saying that you don't qualify for this program. So all these vehicles, the people who qualify have already relocated to the program. The folks you see here, they don't qualify, either because they have children and they're not allowing children into the site, or because their cars, their vehicles are inoperable, and they're not allowing inoperable vehicles on the site. And that was contrary to what the city originally offered folks. They offered everyone sanctuary in the safe park and then denied them. And so this is really just crazy. There was a really good turnout of folks here today. I have you on Facebook Live, guys.
Hey, what's up? Hello, Facebook.
Morning.
What do you, any comments to the world about what the fuck is going on here?
The city of Berkeley employs liars.
What you mean?
They'll come and tell you that they're going to do something and then change it right after you spend money because of them.
And that's happened this whole week with this group, right?
Oh yeah, last Wednesday, my organization, Where Do We Go Berkeley, spent $900 on a tow truck that came. And after he found out that we were hiring a tow truck, he waited until our truck came and towed somebody all the way to the shelter and then said you can't tow in.
Yeah.
After they said that it was
After they said it was okay. Yeah.
Yeah, and that person that they're speaking of is actually like
Peter.
having a nervous breakdown because of it. Her mental health is just deteriorating because of what they've done.
trauma on top of trauma.
Trauma on trauma.
Yeah.
Right.
I'll say this.
Oh, talk about what that one person said about Hitler.
Yeah, man.
A city worker, okay, of Berkeley.
We just got to watch out when people come out here. Notice how the city workers, even the police, oftentimes they're laughing like it's a normal day on the job. And this is the fault of humanity. Because whenever we're out here and people are getting evicted and women and children are being put in worse situations, trauma on top of trauma, the public are the ones who believe the lies, who sit there and listen to, oh, they're all dope fiends, oh, none of them are trying, none of them are trying. How many people are sitting at home scared that their children, if they do not get a $30-something dollar an hour job, they may be homeless or may be on the bottom dregs? This is not our fault. We're just the ones out here trying to fight. This is a frontline thing. But the brother, I told him, I said, and this is the true thing.
City worker?
I hate the quote as a city worker. He's one of the main officials who will go around and talk main contact to the people to see what they need. And I let him know, I was like, man, dead serious, what are you going to do with these people after 11 months? You're going to move them from a place after 11 months to go nowhere. Most of these people were moved from Berkeley Marina, been here waiting for 3 years and nothing's been done for them. And I said, I hate to quote it, man, but it's the truth, man. Nazis was just doing their job, man. And he looked at me and thought about it, looked away, Heil Hitler, with enthusiasm, and it triggered me. There's some things that you say, you allow yourself to say, you allow yourself to do. And no matter what job you have, I believe that as a nation, we believe that if that person wasn't strong enough, then their life is less valued. If they can't fight for their own, well, then I got to worry about me. Well, that's the reason why we started first. They came for the homeless, because you're next. You can't not help homeless because you're not homeless. You can't not help blacks because you're not black. It's the same government forcing us all into a hole. You need to wake up, man.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, how you doing?
Good.
Same monster with different faces.
Thank you, guys.
Hey, I'd like to say one thing.
Oh, yeah, one more thing.
I'd like to say one thing. They're moving because they've been here forever, are not ticketed. I don't think Berkeley's losing money, but now they're ticketing everybody. It's funny because this is public. It's supposed to be public sidewalk, public street. We can't have tiny homes. We can't have tents. We can't even sleep on the side of the street. But notice how restaurants can buy a part of your city. This is supposed to be public property. A restaurant can buy a slot in the middle of the street on the curb where you can no longer park for the business, for the purpose and industry of their gaining money. But a human being cannot use the same spot to save their life.
And you're talking about the parklets.
I'm talking about the parklets
that came up during COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How can you sell that, but yet you can't give us what's already ours?
Hello.
This is ridiculous. And anybody not waking up, anybody listening to that, let's turn them all against each other, you're part of the problem, man.
All right, thank you, guys. Yeah, so this is a huge community. It spans from 7th Street down there. This is 8th and Harrison, 9th and 10th, all the way down there to Gilman, which is down there, to the dead end down there. A lot of the folks got their vehicles towed and have left already in fear. And the thing is that this community takes care of each other. These folks have been evicted from the marina and his lordship's parking lot 3 years ago, and they've literally been sitting here waiting, asking for interventions, asking for support. What you see today and what started last week with this eviction is the first time the city of Berkeley has actually ever interacted and intervened with this community. This community asked for porta potties. They were denied. Behind me, you'll see porta potties right there. That's being paid for by housed community members. Next to the porta potties, behind that truck, there's a massive clean drinking water citrine. And the people here asked for clean drinking water. They were ignored. The people here asked for help dealing with the illegal dumping that happens here. And they actually pooled their money together to get their own dumpster for the illegal dumping that was happening, that they had been begging the city to deal with. Not only did the city never come out to deal with the illegal dumping, the city denied them a dumpster. But what you see happening here is with Mr. Clarence's spot from earlier, they just come out in a second to throw away people's property, but they won't deal with the illegal dumping. So another thing too is that they are painting this community to be a problem to the businesses here. And the reality is that the businesses here, for the most part, totally work and support with this community. There were stories of, one of the businesses here, a pottery company behind me. They have an annual Christmas party, and they invite the residents here to come to the Christmas party. Thank you so much. And then this is the Tesla Corporation here. They get along with their neighbors here at Tesla. And when there are issues, there have been a couple of issues here with Tesla, but they work it out. It's just a very untrue portrait that they're painting of the folks here, as if the businesses are the ones who are asking for this community to be destroyed. The reality is that this is one of the most organized and self-sufficient unhoused communities I've ever seen, and probably one of the most organized here in Berkeley. They're the strongest. They have more advocates who are outspoken, who normally go into City Hall and work with advocacy groups to advocate for the rest of the unhoused people here in Berkeley. And the city is dismantling them. And what we heard from the city manager's rep, Peter Radu, who used to work in Oakland up until a couple of months ago, is that this is the community that they're starting their interventions with, and then they're going to sweep throughout Berkeley with everyone else. The issue is that everyone here has complied with the city. They've done everything to try to figure out how to work with the city, and they're asking for really basic things like a safe place to park, services. The city has yet to bring out mental health services, and there are folks here who have severe mental health issues. There are people here with children. The city has not brought out any family services. There are elders here. There's a veteran here. There are folks here who have very specific needs that they can very clearly articulate what their needs are, and their needs have been ignored, and an eviction has been the answer. So stay tuned. This continues tomorrow. Like I said, tomorrow the city of Berkeley is planning to take all these homes that you see behind me that are actually being lived in by human beings. And so we're asking, the community here is asking for folks to come out tomorrow to bear witness and also help defend their homes. A restraining order, preliminary injunction, and civil rights lawsuit in violation of this community's First, Fourth, Eighth, and 14th Amendments is being filed as we speak. And hopefully they get to the judge and they get some relief in this situation. But the name of this community is Berkeley Friends on Wheels. They have an online presence. Check them out. They're amazing folks, good people, living in the margins and trying to survive. And they're asking for really basic things and to be treated like human beings. And they're asking the city to help them. And if the city cannot help them, they're asking the city to stop hurting them. So this is the word on the curb today, that these governments need to stop treating unhoused people like criminals.
In Mexico, where I went for some housing.
All right. Oh.
Yeah. And he was
And
a feral dog for the first year.
I'll be back in a little bit. All right.
And,
Peace.